Very good afternoon to one and all. Today we'll be discussing on liver cirrhosis. If you remember, your previous class was chronic hepatitis, which have a strong relation with the cirrhosis. Try to recollect the topic discussed in the previous classes. You can correlate those chronic hepatitis with cirrhosis. What are the types of chronic hepatitis leading to cirrhosis? Okay, let's get into the topic proper. Cirrhosis. The liver is a large organ that sits on the right side of the belly, as all of you know, weighing about 1.35 kgs. The liver is a reddish brown in color, feels rubbery in consistency to touch. Normally, you can't feel the liver because it's protected right below the rib cage. What are the basic functions of the liver? We can divide them into metabolic, secretory, excretory, synthesis, storage, and detoxification. Coming to the metabolic functions, it helps with the metabolism of carbohydrates, fat, and protein. It secretes bile acids, bile salts, and bile pigments. Excretory, it excretes bilirubin, drugs, and toxins. It helps in the synthesis of albumin and other coagulation factors. It stores vitamins, carbohydrates, and many other things. Detoxification detoxifies the ammonia and many other toxins which enters our body. So what is cirrhosis of liver? It is a chronic progressive disease characterized by widespread fibrosis. There is nothing but scarring or nodule formation. Cirrhosis occurs when the normal flow of the blood, bile, and hepatic metabolites is altered by fibrosis. It is a chronic progressive disease of the liver characterized by diffuse damage to the cells with fibrosis and nodular degeneration. This is how a normal liver and a liver with the cirrhosis looks like. On your right side, you can see the liver with cirrhosis, where there are nodularity you can see on the surface. It occurs because of the scarring. Scarring of the normal liver tissue leads to the nodularity. This is a biopsy or cross section. The healthy liver and the normal healthy liver and a cirrhotic liver. Classification. Broadly classified the cirrhosis into two major forms based on the size of the regenerative nodules formed with a cutoff point of 3 mm. When the nodules are small, that is less than 3 mm, we call it as micronodular cirrhosis. Alcoholic hepatitis, hemochromatosis, drugs, chronic biliary disease, and the few diseases associated with micronodular cirrhosis. When the size is larger than 3 mm, then you name it as macronodular cirrhosis. This is a form predominantly found in chronic viral hepatitis. Autoimmune hepatitis, it is also found with all other causes of micronodular cirrhosis. If the particular illness lasts for a long duration. So when you look into this macronodular chronic viral hepatitis, hepatitis C, chronic hepatitis C is one of the major cause for cirrhosis. And mixed nodularity with variable size nodules is another category. This is a gross picture how a macronodular cirrhotic liver looks like. I think if you're looking at the last skin, you can better appreciate the macronodularity. The nodules will be more than 3 mm in size. This is a micronodular where the nodules are less than 3 mm. Unless you zoom in, you can't make out this nodularity. Usually the liver is a smooth surfaced organ. What are types of cirrhosis? We broadly classify them into alcoholic cirrhosis, post-necrotic cirrhosis, biliary cirrhosis, and cardiac cirrhosis. For EUG point of view, there are many other types of cirrhosis for a post-graduation level, but we we concentrate on these four at this point of time. Alcoholic cirrhosis is the most common due to chronic alcoholism. Scar tissue characteristically surrounds the portal area. When you look into the post-necrotic cirrhosis, there are broad bands of scar tissue due to the late results of acute viral hepatitis or post-intoxication with industrial chemicals. When you look into the biliary cirrhosis, scarring occurs around biliary duct in liver, resulting from chronic biliary obstruction and infection. When you see this cardiac cirrhosis, it is associated with severe right-sided long-term heart failure, which is fairly rare when compared to the other things. Cardiac cirrhosis is rare. In India, we commonly come across this alcoholic cirrhosis. What is the etiology for cirrhosis? Cell necrosis occur. There will be destruction of the liver cells and are replaced by a scar tissue. The normal architecture becomes nodular. This is how you can have a look at the picture where the cross section shows necrosis of the normal cells, the fatty acies in between the cells, the regenerative nodules, portal triad, and fibrous septum in between the necrosis. What is the physiology of cirrhosis? When an hepatocyte injured, they secrete paracrine factor and activate the stellate cells. And these cells lose vitamin A and proliferate, and they secrete TGF beta. That is nothing but a transform growth factor beta. And this produce collagen. When an injury occurs to the hepatocyte, it undergoes a series of events and produce collagen. It will be the main ingredient in the extracellular matrix, that is the fibrosis and the scar tissue. And this formation of collagen compress the sinusoid and the central vein. This is a basic physiology involved in the process of cirrhosis. What are the most common causes of cirrhosis? Those include as I already mentioned, you see chronic hepatitis infections are the major cause, along with the chronic alcoholism. The next comes the non-alcoholic fatty liver disease or the steatohepatitis hepatitis. Primary biliary cholangitis, which is formerly known as primary biliary cirrhosis. Toxic substances and infections. Inherited genetic disorders like alpha-1 trypsin deficiency, cystic fibrosis, and cardiac cirrhosis. These are the common causes of cirrhosis which we come across in the day-to-day practice. There are few other causes for cirrhosis, like primary sclerosing cholangitis, that is where the hardening and scarring of the bile duct occurs. Infections by freshwater parasitic worms, like schistosomiasis, also known as bilharzia. Cryptogenic cirrhosis due to an unidentified cause and normally requiring a liver transplantation. What are the signs and symptoms? Some of the following signs and symptoms may occur in the presence of cirrhosis or as a result of the complication of cirrhosis. Many are non-specific and may occur in other diseases also, and do not necessarily point out to be cirrhosis. Likewise, the absence of any does not rule out the possibility of cirrhosis. Must keep all the 3 points in mind. Fatigue. Fatigue is common in many diseases, but in a liver disease, fatigue will be mostly towards the noon time. In the morning time, they will be little energetic. When they exert themselves, when they do their routine work, they will be going towards fatigue by the noon time. That is a classical feature of the liver disease causing fatigue. And easy bruisability, alleged discoloration of skin and sclera because of the jaundice, fluid accumulation in the abdomen, that is nothing but ascites, loss of appetite, swelling in the legs, confusion, drowsiness, that is nothing but hepatic encephalopathy, spider-like blood vessels on your skin, that is the spider nevi, redness in the palms of the hands, that is palmar erythema, testicular atrophy in men, and breast enlargement in men because of androgen deficiency, and easy bruisability, itchy skin, nausea, and weight loss. These are some constitutional symptoms of cirrhosis or per se for any liver disease. This is a pictorial representation. This helps you to remember easily. From head to toe, it causes hepatic encephalopathy. There will be muscle wasting because of the malnutrition. Spider angiomata, usually seen on the palms and the upper torso. Esophageal varices due to the increase in portal hypertension. Portal vein gets dilated. There will be splenomegaly. Very umbilical dilatation of the blood vessels will be there. That is nothing but the caput medusa. Hemorrhoids and testicular atrophy. The ascites also can be seen in many of the cirrhotic patients. This is a picture showing the gynecomastia in the male cirrhotic. Here you can make out the dilated blood vessels around the umbilicals, caput medusa. This is a massive ascites where the drain is being placed. What are the general diagnostic procedures you do to diagnose cirrhosis? You need a detailed medical history regarding the symptoms, that your onset and the progression to come to a diagnosis of cirrhosis. You need to do a thorough physical examination. You need to look for all the signs of cirrhosis, along with few laboratory tests like liver function tests, kidney function tests, and other investigative blood investigations like ammonia and all. Coming to the imaging test, you usually advise an MRE, that is a magnetic resonance elastography, MRI, magnetic resonating imaging of the abdomen, CT scan, or an ultrasound. Out of all these, ultrasound is the investigation of choice. And when you are not able to come to a diagnosis of a cause or the reason for the cirrhosis, you go for a liver biopsy. So after diagnosing the patient with the cirrhosis, how do you treat? Traditionally, liver damage from cirrhosis can be reversed. The treatment could only stop or delay further progression and reduce the complications. What are the complications of cirrhosis? Either it can be an ascites or portal hypertension causing esophageal varices, secondary bacterial peritonitis. These are the few complications, or a hepatorenal syndrome or hepatopulmonary syndrome. These are the few complications of the cirrhosis. You have to treat. You can only treat the complications, but not the disease per se. A healthy diet is encouraged, as cirrhosis may be an energy-consuming process. Antibiotics will be prescribed for infections, and various medications can help with itching. Treatment involves lifestyle changes, medicines, and regular doctor visits. In some cases, patient may need surgery for treatment of complication of cirrhosis. As I've already told, the complications, like the patient is having an esophageal varices, then he might need to undergo variceal ligation. If he is having intense massive ascites, he might need to drain it frequently. If he is having he might need frequent albumin transfusions. If he lands up in bacterial peritonitis, he needs a course of antibiotics. Depending on the complication, you treat the disease, but the whole process can't be reversed. The disease can be halted and prevent further further progress if you are able to diagnose the cause for the cirrhosis. And when you look at it from the chronic hepatitis part, the cause, if you are thinking that the chronic hepatitis can lead to cirrhosis, you must treat the patient with an appropriate antiviral drugs which can halt the disease process and prevent cirrhosis. So that is the reason why you always need to treat this chronic hepatitis on time with appropriate drugs, and the patient need to be a regular follow-up, and he need to be evaluated for the viral load and so on. Right. Thanks for your attention. Any questions? I think it's made the class very crisp. Only concentrate on the main topics. I mean, main from exam point of view, concentrate. Any doubts? You're welcome to ask. We are open for discussion for the next 10 minutes. For cirrhotic patients, you must assure them and give an appropriate diet, and they need a regular, frequent follow-up in the hospital. If there are no further questions, we should wind up the session in the next 5 minutes. From exam point of view, it's a long answer, I mean, long question for you. Try to go back and read the topic. It's a very small topic given in Davidson, and even in Harrison, it's just 2 to 3 pages. You can quickly go through it. Is there any chance of occurring hepatocellular hepatocarcinoma as a complication of cirrhosis? Yes. The cause of the cirrhosis is due to hepatitis C. Is a what? This is the reason for it. Yeah, most of the chronic hepatitis C, they land, if it is untreated, they will land up in cirrhosis and HCC also. Okay, no further questions. We shall wind up this session. Thank you. Please go back and look into the topic. If you get registered in your brain, it's a very small topic. Thank you.